If you want to receive the slides that I have presented today, please send me an email or just put your email in the chat. If you need any assistance, if something is not working, my colleague Aigerim is in the call, and you can always chat to her or contact her in case you have any problems. Furthermore, I'm quite happy that we have also ESA in the call. So Andreas Tesch and Evelyn Cashbaumer are also here today. They might also be ready to answer your questions if you have special questions. And also Elisabeth Klaffenböck is here. She's from the Austrian Space Agency, and she's also involved in that Spark funding call. Okay, so I'd like to start now with some facts and the process. So shortly to the background that we have for ESA Spark funding. So the Spark funding call is initiated by the European Space Agency, and in Austria it's implemented by us, by Brimatech. We have currently 2 calls in the planning. So one call in 2024, this is the currently running call, and also next year we will have another call. We estimate that per call around 3 to 4 projects will be funded and selected. And the projects will be reviewed by the European Space Agency, by the Austrian Space Agency, and by Brimatech. And the most important point, maybe the next deadline is end of September, so 30th of September. And we will hope that, or we hope that the projects will start at the end of 2024, as soon as possible. All information should also be available at our website, esatechnologybroker.at. What are we looking for? So basically, we are looking for technology transfer projects. Technology transfer is defined as either a company that is integrating non-space technology into the space domain or services. We call that spin-in, which you see on the right-hand side of the graph, or a company that is using space technology for applications on Earth to improve products or services on Earth. That's the spin-off case on the left side of the graph. So basically, any technology that you think is relevant for space could be applicable, or any technology where you think that comes from space and could improve your product or service is also in that call. So what are space technologies? I mean, space technologies are very broad. I have just put some examples in here. So any upstream technologies, of course, are very relevant for us. Any hardware, software, materials, electrical components, mechanisms, propulsion systems, you name it. If you want to have a more comprehensive overview, what is developed for space, you can have a look at the ESA technology tree, and you can find the link in my slides here. There is also a software repository that is held by ESA. Also, software could be used. And ESA also holds a database of IPs that are described under the link that I have provided here for you. So you can also use any ESA IP that could be of interest for you and that could improve your product or service for a Spark funding project. We are not looking for the sole application of downstream data in this call. So if you have a product or a service that is using Earth observation or global navigation satellite systems or satellite communications only, that is not applicable in that call. But if you think, or if you are not sure whether you would fit in or not, just give me a call or write me an email and we can check that for you. What can be the application on Earth? So you can think of any. I mean, this is really open and up to you. Some examples, maybe aviation often is a good application area for space technologies because they are in some areas quite close, aviation and space. Automotive, in recent times, we had a lot of applications in the energy domain, but also health and biotech. So you name it. And I have also some examples where we applied space technologies on Earth later in my presentation. So who can apply? Basically, any legal entity that is registered and headquartered in Austria can apply for ESA Spark funding. It can be both. Either a single entity can apply, but also a consortia can apply for ESA Spark funding. However, one company or one legal entity needs to be in the lead of the project, needs to be the project leader, and the others are partners. It is also possible to include partners outside of Austria in a Spark funding project. A maximum of 50% of the budget can be spent for partners outside of Austria if you can justify that is necessary to include a partner outside of Austria because, for example, the technology is not available in Austria. And maybe also of interest for you, for those companies that have been incubated in the ESA Business Incubation Center. So ESA big alumni can apply for Spark funding if they have already finished their incubation time in ESA big, or if they are close to finishing it. Okay, some facts that might be of interest to you about the funding and the payment. So the funding is 50K euro per project, with an 80% funding rate for SMEs and 50% for large companies. And basically you will get 50% of your budget paid out at the start of your project and 50% after the accepted final report. And the duration of the project is up to 12 months. So how is the process that you need to undergo? Basically, you submit the proposal until September 3rd. 30th, sorry, so that would be too short now. September 30th is the proposal deadline. You submit it. After we have received your proposal, we will check whether all the formal requirements are okay. That's called the tender opening board. So if in case you have not all formal requirements done in the right way, you will get 2 days to improve your proposal on that formal requirements. As soon as all the formal requirements are okay, you go in the tender evaluation board. So you will be invited to present your project in front of representatives from ESA, from the Austrian Space Agency, and from Brimatech. And if that TEB is successful for you and your project is selected, you will be invited to a negotiation meeting and then the subsequent contract signature. Then everything is set to start your project with a set duration of up to 12 months. At the end, you will need to hand in a final report and proof of achievement slide deck. That's basically 3-4 slides with the main achievements of the project and the final review meeting. So what are the criteria that we are evaluating your proposals against? I think the criteria are quite objective ones. So we have basically 4 criteria. That's background and experience, the business case, the technology, and your activity proposal. So in background and experience, we want to see within your company, how is the team composition? Do you have the necessary partnerships and what is the vision for the product or service that you want to develop in that Spark funding project. With the business case, we want to see which markets you target. We want to see which product or service shall be the end product. We want to see customers, users. So the best case is if you already integrate a potential customer or user in your project. It also needs to show where is the customer requirement, what is their challenge, and how can you solve it, and the value proposition. For the technology, we need to know which technology you're using, how suitable it is, whether it is really the best choice, and how realistic it is to transfer it from space or into space. We also want to see whether you have access to the technology and the rights to use it. And of course, the maturity and feasibility. Maybe for the maturity, we do not have fixed a technology readiness level that you need to achieve, because it of course depends on the project. So you don't need to have a TRL 6, for example, to be eligible. Yes, and the last thing is the activity proposal. We want to see whether you can implement the project in a realistic way. So we want to see a work breakdown. We want to see how you want to spend the resources, if you have the required facilities for your project, the milestones and cost planning, and of course, the management, especially if you have partners included. So if you are now interested how this really looks, you can download all the call documents on the esatechnologybroker.at website. There is a Spark funding section, and we have quite limited page numbers for your proposal. So we do not want to have large numbers of pages that you write, but a very short and very on-the-point proposal would be perfect for us. So you have 1 page for the executive summary, 7 pages for business case and technical proposals, 7 pages for the activity proposal, and 1 page for the management proposal. But all the requirements are also nicely described in the Word documents that you can download and start to fill out. So a lot of theory now. Maybe some examples of technology transfers that we had in the past, so you can see what we are typically looking for. So all of you know these ugly black bird stickers that you have on large windows or window panels to avoid birds colliding with the windows. This was a problem that a startup in Austria addressed, and what they wanted to have was basically an ink that does not fade in UV light, and they were looking for a solution from space. And that we did. So we found a solution that was developed for a mission from OMT Solutions in the Netherlands. And they developed a highly reflective UV coating for the focusing of mirrors in the high power UV source of the staff facility. And that UV coating was then used to replace the bird stickers. And now you have foils on the glass, so it is directly printed on the glass that the human eye cannot see anymore, but the birds can see that. And it's a material that is highly stable in the UVA range over years and does not fade in the sunlight, and avoids birds colliding with the window panels. So this was one example that we had in the past. Another example, a very nice one, is the magnetic gear. So All of you know the stiff gears that are usually used, but they need to be lubricated, and they are very prone to any maintenance. So this is not really perfect for space. So an Austrian inventor invented the magnetic gears that were used for unfolding solar panels, for example, on satellites. And we then looked into how they could be used for applications on Earth. And what we found was, a massage robot. So basically, the magnetic gear that was developed for space meets the requirements that you usually have for robot and human interaction, because the collision avoidance is better, the torque limitation is better, and it also enables automatic shutdown. So now this magnetic gear that was developed for the unfolding of the satellites, of the solar panels of the satellites, is now used to massage people. Okay. Maybe now a short summary and some recommendations for your application. So my tip is just try the application is easy, and we try to keep the application forms simple and short. If you have any questions, if you're in doubt whether your idea could fit to Spark funding, just consult us. So either my colleague Aigarim or myself, write us an email, and we will set a meeting. We'll set up a meeting with you and check whether your idea could fit. Involve potential customers for the application on Earth. Also for spin-in in space, it's always good to see the customer in the project. Partners from other countries can be included to a certain percent, 50% of the budget. And ESA big incubators can apply for Spark funding in case they are almost finished with the incubation time. If your English is not perfect, maybe you could make use of a translation tool to improve it. And your benefits, besides the 50k euros that you get, is you also get access to the broker and the network, the broker network and the network of the European Space Agency. And you get a broader visibility through ESA, social media, and newsletter coverage. Okay. What are the reviewers looking for or not looking for? Basically, I just showed you the evaluation criteria. Check them again. They are also relevant for your presentation in front of the tender evaluation board. Keep it short and simple. Basically, as a reviewer, you want to understand the application or the idea in the first few lines of your proposal and not on the 15th page of your proposal. Don't write a scientific paper. Be aware that the people that are going to read your proposal are usually not experts in that specific technology field. Be realistic. It's a 50k euro project, and we are expecting projects that fit into that range. Use pictures or graphs, that's always good. And focus on your potential application on Earth. For example, what is the expected impact? How will the space technology benefit products and markets? Who are your customers? What is your target market? Who is the competition? And describe your business model. Because we want to understand whether the product or service that you are developing is sustainable in your company setting, basically. And of course, make sure your application is complete. And some last tips on how to survive a tender evaluation board. So maybe you could practice with some different audiences and make sure that people understand it. especially if the application is on a very technical side. As said before, the people that are in the tender evaluation board have usually very different backgrounds, technical backgrounds, business backgrounds, finance, and so on. So take that into account. So make sure that all people understand your application and your presentation. Yes, as said before, it's always good to bring your customer also to a presentation in the tender evaluation board to make it more realistic and to make it more credible. And also focus on the sustainability after the project ends. So how will you integrate this product or the service in your company? How will you sell it? How is that going to be? And of course, again, be realistic. Yes, that was it already from my side. And now I would like to go to the questions and answer sessions. There is already one first question in the chat. What about newcomers without experience in space knowledge? Which partners are welcome? Maybe Ferdinand, could you elaborate on that question a bit more? What do you exactly mean? Mr. Eicher, Ferdinand Eicher, who had that question? But maybe if someone else has a question, we can have that question before. So you can either just unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, we are very newcomers in the space, and you have no experience in that environment, and therefore I asked the question, which partners are available, which partners are welcome, especially in the corner of artificial intelligence, for example. A solution in that case, is this a solution what is able for a project idea, or is this too technology minded?
So
artificial intelligence, I mean, yeah.
Artificial intelligence fits well with the project call. So that is from the technology side, welcome. From the partner side, I think it depends on whether you want to spin into space, whether you want to apply artificial intelligence in the space domain, or if you want to have a product on Earth, if you have already customers on Earth and want to improve your product or service with space technology. So I don't know which direction you want to go.
Okay, I can write it more details by email. I think it's a better, better platform. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Yeah. If a proposal is to use hardware or test or implement for ground application, is that eligible for application, and will ESA provide that hardware? Okay, so basically, if you use, I think what is meant here, if you use space hardware to test for an application on Earth, that would be, of course, eligible for the call. That's something we are looking for, because it's a transfer from space technology for an application on Earth. If ESA is going to provide that hardware depends very much on whether you already had contact with ESA. If you have someone that would be willing to provide hardware. If not, it would be advisable to contact ESA in advance before you submit your proposal. I can make you a contact here if you want. Or the other way is if you find a space technology provider from Austria or from a different country that could be in that position as well. So of course it depends which hardware you want to test or implement for your application on Earth. But we can have a more in detail discussion if you want on a bilateral basis.
Susanne, I see that there is one raised hand with Anna.
It's actually Lily.
Yeah, it's actually Lily. It's a long story. Actually, my full name is Lily Anna, but like I have done a Spanish long name, so that's why it's my private Zoom and there I use Anna. So yeah, that's the story. Yeah, can I raise my question or should I send it to?
No, just
good morning.
Good morning, Lily. No, just please, you're free to
yeah. Yeah, so basically, I think in some application, as you know, all our project would be fitting. However, I would have a question regarding to that. It's written that ESA big application must be finished. So according to that, then it cannot go parallel with the ESA big application because, as you know, now we are planning to go to the ESA big. And then obviously then to the other grants. So it's no way that it goes parallel with each other, right? If I understood it correctly. Then.
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, the only way is if you're almost finished with your incubation and the overlapping time would be only like 1 to 3 months, then we can check in the specific case. But basically, your incubation time with ESA big should be finished.
Almost finished. And with the ESA PhilApp, can it go parallel or it's again, then we would need to apply for that one? And in good case, then make the ESA Spark funding and then ESA PhilApp. So step by step, or because some grants can go in parallel.
Yeah. That's a good question. And we have not thought about this before. But basically, at the moment, I don't see any objection why a PhilApp and the Spark funding project should not go in parallel. As soon as the activities that you propose for the projects are separated. So you need to, of course, show that there is different activities in the different projects so that we do not have any double funding.
Super. Yeah. So thank you very much. That was.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
I have another question from Ruth. Hello, Ruth. In the chat. In case partners are needed, do you have a network of possible partners as well? Yes, that's a definite yes. So we Brimatech are here to check whether we can put you in relation to other partners, whether we can find partners here in Austria, but also in the other ESA member states. So if you are looking for a partner, just contact me and we will try to search one for you. And then can the Spark funding be combined with other fundings at the later state, for example? Yes, the Spark funding, it's just ESA big that we do not want to see overlapping here. But if you have other fundings, it's not a criteria that you could not combine other fundings. But as said before, with the question from Lily, you need to separate the activities in your project so that we do not have any double funding. Is there any other questions from the audience side? I see a lot of familiar names with the participants, but also some new ones. So as said before, do not hesitate to contact us in advance if you want to submit the proposal, because I'm sure we can help you with your proposal to make it fit perfectly with the call. So don't be shy, just contact us. I don't see any other questions in the chat. Presentations as download. We have not collected, so for the presentations, we have not collected your email addresses in advance. So if you want the presentation that I showed today, you need to send me an email with your email address or put it in the chat. Otherwise, we are not able to send you the slides. So please provide me with your email addresses. Otherwise, it's not possible for us to contact you. Yeah, I see a lot of email addresses now popping up in the chat. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So if there are no more questions from the audience side, I would then end this session and say thank you to you, all of you, to those that are interested in the call, but also to Evelyn Kerschbauer and Andreas Tesch from ESA and Elisabeth Klaffenböck from the Austrian Space Agency as well. Thank you very much for being in the call. Thanks for your interest, and I hope to see a lot of applications.